It's that time of the year, folks. What's up, everybody? I'm back. I know it's been a couple weeks, but it's that time of the year again where things just really don't happen very often. News is kind of slow, but anyway, as always, guys. Sorry, think over here. Cinescape Media, check us out. There's a new episode coming out. I know of satire, and other than that, I know everybody's been a little bit busy, but plenty of things coming out. Hope you guys have been checking out and liking the other shows. But if not, I hope you at least are still enjoying ours here. So anyway, we'll go ahead. Let's get right into it. Jump into the news here with what's available. And there we go. All right, so the first one, we'll start over here. We got a couple UFOs stories here. So let's see. This is not bringing up the browser. There we go. Sorry about that. Anyway, so Project Blue Book. I've seen this at a couple things or a couple spots, but it looks like we may finally be getting another Project Blue Book value. Pretty sure we're not going to see anything from it, but it does sound like this is possibly going to happen. Maybe we get some transparency. More than likely not. It would be nice, but I'm curious to see what happens with this and if we really do start another Project Blue Book. So the only other thing I have in UFO news, and I believe we've talked about this one multiple times already, but a lot of Americans are now believing UFOs are alien. Which, like we've said before, there's so many things that have come out recently that a lot of people are now questioning it. It came out kind of under everything else that was going on. It wasn't making major news, but there has been plenty of shows lately, people talking about it. We've been talking about it. I think the more it's talked about, the better. And then hopefully we can appease Elon Musk and anybody else who, with, again, I've said their valid complaint of, we do not have anybody out here with someone like me, where if I was to see it, I'm going to get that on freaking 4K. I mean, this phone camera does 8K as well. So trust me, if I find something good, it's going to be on good resolution. But with what's going on, a lot of people are now believing it's aliens. And this could be good. This could be bad, because I'm hoping we don't stir some paranormal. I'm sorry, not paranormal. I'm hoping we don't stir too much paranoia where you have everybody freaking out, end of the world, Armageddon, doomsday stuff. Not to say, we don't know. You're never going to fully know. And that's just the way life is. You're never going to fully know if these are aliens. Are they going to show up with all their advanced technology, turn us into mindless drones, zap us? Or are they going to come friendly, hang out, and, next thing you know, you're sharing a beer with Glorg from Z99. We don't know what's going to happen. No one's ever going to fully understand what could happen. So, again, it's interesting to see that, we are getting plenty of people believing in aliens lately. So, anyway, that's pretty much all I have for UFOs. Like I said, the news cycle's pretty light, so we can just cycle through these real quick. And again, I mean, the news cycle's late enough where the other website that I was getting stuff from hasn't had an update since like July or August. So there was really nothing to report off of that site, only this one where I get most of my sites. And I don't, we'll pull it up here in a minute for our discussion. But anyway, moving along. Like I said, so we'll get into our crypto news. So this one's interesting. An Australian hunter is trying to blame their version of Bigfoot or Sasquatch. They call them Yowies. And he says he saw the Yowie. And then the hunter's now missing. He was eaten by the Yowie. Now, I think everyone may already be thinking about this, but I'll go ahead and say it. We sure this guy really saw Yowie, or is he making up a story where he accidentally killed his friend, or he killed the person on purpose and now he hid the body? And he's gonna blame the Yowies. Wouldn't be the first time somebody's blamed things like this to try and cover their own murders. I really hope that's not the case, but I've never really heard many stories of Sasquatch, Bigfoots, like, eating humans. Maybe I'm way off on that, but I really don't remember or seen much of that. But I find it interesting. I wish there was more than just a story, but that's all we got for now. So moving along, my favorite, Loch Ness monster. Now, someone with a sonar apparently picked up some evidence. And you can see the sonar picture here, which reminds me, guys ain't tuned into us on YouTube, please head on over, hit subscribe, come join us, come view the evidence that we review here. Hopefully within the next month here, we're getting into October, we're getting into prime paranormal season, we'll have plenty more of this to review, and possible ideas coming up soon where you're gonna want to be tuned in. So get on over to YouTube and subscribe. But anyway, this guy who was on holiday, Benjamin, he says he spotted something on his sonar, and he believes it was only 20 meters down, but it's 4 meters long. It's apparently, there it is. Sorry, I was looking for it here in the article. The sighting did follow that another visitor in the area witnessed Loch Ness around the same spot, and then they said it breached on July 30th. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's just a sonar image. What you can see is the reflection of the red. Those that know how to read sonar, you can tell. But basically, you can see what looks like this possible blip on the radar here, or sonar. Sorry, that shows a possible creature or something that was reflecting in. So pretty cool if it is. I think we've covered a sonar picture before of Nessie. There's a lot of things I think they could be doing more of, but then again, do we really want the mystery to end? I guess that's a question to ask, and we can discuss that another time. But I mean, is it fun to leave it the way it is, as a sort of mystery where people catch glimpses, catch things on sonars or radars or fish finders or whatever they're doing, right? Like, do we let that mystery kind of just stay? Or should we be devoting some, like, boats and better radar and, those big submersible vehicles that can go super far down and, like, try and find this thing once and for all? Grid patterns, search, like, find Nessie. I would love to be a part of that. Like, if anybody wants to put it together, let's go. But I don't know. Do you guys think it would ruin the mysteriousness if we actually did find out one way or another? If we find out it's real, does the story, what direction does it go? I don't know. There's a lot of crazy stuff to think of. What happens? Anyway, so we'll move on to Ghost. As we know, with October coming up, everybody wants to do ghost stuff and It lasts for about a month, and then your friends and whatever who were semi into it are now like, oh, let's do something else. Anyway, but here's one from a pub that had a table. I'm sorry, the chair moves while the woman is sitting there. So, YouTube, no, I do not own the rights to this video, but we're going to play this. And as you can see, this chair moves. The chair on the right. She's looking. She knows she didn't do it. You can see her feet. Her feet do not move. We're going to get a little closer. It pushes in. Now, there's no sound to this at all. So you don't hear the dragging or anything. That's not me muting it. There's literally no sound to this. Right? So you can tell she's a little freaked out. Oh, I forgot. Oh yeah, they play this little sign. I mean, we all know that's nothing. But the chair getting pushed in is pretty interesting. It's nothing too crazy. It's a good piece of evidence because, I mean, of course, what everybody may or may not say is if you go to the basement, are you going to see magnets dragging it across? Because that's what everybody's going to see. And I'm going to go with no. And my reasoning for this is, yes, you can do magnets, right? But magnets are going to have more of a jerky motion. And we'll do an experiment with this one time, right? Maybe we should do some experiments. This should be fun. Of how people do fakery, and we can show you for things to look for. Guys, that might be something there. So, anyway, if you've ever done it, if you have magnets at home, put one on the bottom and the top of a table and move it across. You'll notice it's not really ever smooth. I mean, if it's a ball, it might move a little smoother, but we're talking about a chair here, right? Those chairs are 4 flat feet. So if you were to drag them, they are going to be jerky, especially if you're using magnets. And I mean, to drag, you'd have to at least get both front legs and drag. And if the magnets are pretty powerful, like I said, they're gonna scratch or they're gonna be jittery. This is a pretty smooth motion, so it seems more of a pushed out or a pushed in motion. The other thing you see is, at least from what I can see, and I'll show you this one more time real quick. You can see the chairs moving in, and it moves in like flat. So for those that I know are going to say, well, there's somebody that's got a string and they're pulling it, right? The pulling of a string is also going to give you kind of that same jerky effect, but say you don't have that. Typically, you're going to have the string on 1 foot, right? You're going to need a string on 2 feet, or both feet of the chair, and you're going to have to do it. I think this is a good piece of evidence to me. Now, if somebody comes out and says, oh, I 100% did it, here's my proof. Okay, you got me. But this is pretty good evidence, I would say. So, I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool, so I was giving a share. Moving along, we have a mother believing a ghost sleeps with her baby. Now, this one's kind of interesting, and like being a father, these stories, you always think about them, and you kind of you hope for the best case scenario, right? If this is, say, an entity, ghost, spirit, or something, you hope it's a friendly ghost. Now, these parents apparently had watched their child's baby monitor, and there's no video. There's just this picture here. They've watched that it floats and it spins, and I wish we had some video to see, but if we had the evidence, or not evidence, you can see the evidence here, right? You got the picture. It would be nice to see the video footage to try and debunk, is it a dust particle, the way it's moving around? They're talking about float, spin around, and turn to a light that was switched off. Now, that to me sounds like some sort of bug, right? Like a bug that's attracted to light or heat in a sense, because the light bulb was on, light bulb's now off, but it's still going to have radiant heat. So that bug is going to try and figure out where it is, and then heads on over to the light. I just, and when they only are submitting a picture rather than video evidence, you already know that they probably believe the same thing, but they just maybe want their 5 minutes of fame. So while if the story is true, you hope it's a good spirit, maybe a former, grandparent or something like that, a former loved one that's just there to be protective of the child. But I mean, if you caught it on video, why are you just submitting a picture? Like, that is going to scream, at least to me and maybe others here as well, like, if you have video, why are you not submitting video? If you're just submitting a picture, you're just going off of one little minuscule piece of a whole picture. But hey, that maybe, like I said, maybe it's me, but I mean, if you guys believe the same thing, like, let me know in the comments below. Which, guys, I appreciate all the comments you guys leave, and I love interacting with you guys, hearing different stories and things like that. So thank you to all the new subscribers as well that are listening. I mean, I thoroughly enjoy the conversations, and we're gonna hopefully continue to stay engaged here. But anyway, the last story that I have here, I'm gonna load this one up. This creepy figure. The video itself is in a completely different language. I do not know what it is. But, and you watch the video, apparently you see this little, like, head pop up. And I'm going to play it one more time. Right there. I mean, they try and say that they didn't see this before, right? It's really kind of a creepy, like, it does seem to just kind of come from behind. The problem is it's dark, but hey, we always see these in nighttime, right? So it's kind of hard to see, like, I don't know, this is one of those ones that are like, did you fake it? Is there somebody else? So what's interesting is this, and tell me if you guys see it too. Again, guys, don't just sit on the podcast. Come watch this. Watch the figure come up, and then looks like it kind of moves to the right of the screen. Obviously, the mom is now panning off at this point because she's videotaping her child. Perfectly fine. But watch. Is it either pulling back? Does it look like it's pulling back, or does it look like it's moving to the side? It's kind of hard to tell. But did not mean to open that. So it's definitely an interesting one. That one's a pretty easy one to fake, I would say. Go back over here. That's a pretty easy one to fake in the middle of the night, but I don't know. That one's tough to figure out whether they're going to if they're faking that one. But hey, if that's another one that's 100% real, that's some real crazy, and as it says, that's a real creepy piece of evidence, because I know if I caught something behind my child, I'd freak out. Now, so let's see. I wanted to have a discussion, and this actually came up. So the past few weeks have been pretty busy, and I'm actually getting ready to take another vacation to kind of relax and take care of some things. So it's been really hectic, and one of the things that had occurred recently caused a lot of people to message me, and one of our podcast hosts, actually, which hopefully get him going soon here, he said, is this something that I'm going to talk about on the podcast? And I 100% think I'm going to. So recently, as in 2-3 days ago, Saturday. It happened Thursday. A dead body was found within 1,000 feet of me. I had no idea. I happened to be sitting here, and actually, not even before I knew it happened, I was on my radio, and I told everybody, nothing going on here. I take the trash out 2 minutes later. There's a crime scene unit. And I call my wife and tell her I'll be inside in a second. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the crime scene unit here. She quickly alerts me that they found a body and I should be in the house. And I said, that's a very good point. So I came in the house. Not that I'm scared. I just forgot the gun in the house. So I proceeded to come home. And again, I literally, it was right there. Like, I could go outside, throw a rock, and I'd hit where that body was. So this is one of those things where, am I going to have a possible spirit wander into my house from this person? Because I'm more open-minded. Do spirits know? So say like a spirit, they tragically passed away right over there. Because I've seen a discussion recently about spirits wandering, right? Spirits aren't always 100% attached to a home or anything in that sense. Most of the time, sure. But I think it was, even in Kindred Spirits, they had it where something happened over here and the spirits they found were, it happens, right? So, do we happen to maybe think, are spirits in tune enough where they know that they could possibly come to myself or maybe another person in this area that's open-minded and believes, are they going to show up and try and communicate with that person? Now, I'm not going to lie, the batteries are right here. I'm looking for my digital recorder to maybe try and start capturing different things and doing things maybe outside this house. Maybe I'll go over to where that body was found. Maybe I'll just do it sitting in the living room. But do you guys believe or subscribe to the thought that a spirit can wander? And when they wander, are they looking for somebody such as ourselves that are open and willing to communicate with them? I really think they do. Like, I think because they want to be heard, they want to have their story heard, that they're going to, by any means necessary, try and find that person. Now, as far as this, the found body, we know nothing yet. Like, all I know is that our neighbor took his trash out at 6:30. Body was not there. Trash comes on Thursday for pickup. Trash company, they're here usually around 12-ish. Noon, somewhere around there. So there's only a 5-hour window, in daylight, mind you, that something had occurred. Now, our apartment complex has said we know what's happened. We are fully cooperating with police. Because I can tell you right now, we've gotten notices and letters and emails from this place. They have security cameras trained on every dumpster because they don't want to pay for damage, or they don't want to do, they're catching people doing the wrong things around the dumpsters. This obviously being a very wrong thing, right? So I'm curious what was caught on that tape. And again, I'm curious if I'm going to be confronted with this possible spirit or entity. And if I can help that spirit or entity in any way, I will do my damnedest to help. But that was my little discussion piece. I was curious how everybody else felt. And like I said, thanks to Bob, which, if you're listening, Bob, we need to set up and get you going here. But guys, anyway, that's gonna be the end of it for me today. I apologize. So at my work, I was getting off about every other week, and the weeks that I was having off on Fridays, or I'm sorry, yes, we got off every other Friday. I was doing it on the Friday nights that I had off from work. Well, instead of every other week, work had changed the schedule up, which kind of threw my schedule off, not realizing I didn't make the episode last week when I should have. So I apologize for that. And then like I said, I mean it's been kind of dead. We went through this last year where there's not much to do, so I'm not just gonna sit here and bore you with a 5-minute video or just come on and say there's nothing to say. I wanted to make sure I had a few things for discussion and to make a decent video. So anyway, that's it, guys. I appreciate you as always as listening. We passed over the 30,000 download mark, which is I never thought it'd be something I'd get as quick as we have gotten. So appreciate everybody. Thank you for telling all your friends and family. Again, please, if you can, come subscribe on YouTube. Help us get those numbers up. And I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Thanks a lot.